Welcome to Masterclass on Embedded C Programming. I warmly welcome you to the session. Thanks for coming and thank you for your time. And today, we are going to learn uh, how to create a project for host using STM32Cube IDE and how to create a project for the target. Okay, the host is the Pentium 4 machine, the Pentium 4 on any laptop or any personal computers. Whereas the target is the embedded target. Okay, how to create a project for an embedded target using STM32Cube IDE. I'm going to use a Nucleo board. I'll share you what kind of board we are using for this series. So you could purchase online, and how to read an address of a variable and what are storage classes in C. So these are the things which we are going to learn today. I hope you'll have a great learning. And before we go into the session in detail, I'll give a short introduction about Pantech and about me, and then we can go for the session. Okay. So Pantech was started in the year 2004. Like, we basically manufactured microcontroller boards, DSP boards, and FPGA boards. We do also manufacture a lot of trainer kits for electronics as well as for electrical engineering. Our vision is to help 10 million students to learn the technology in an easy way. So far, we have trained 2 lakh plus students on YouTube. We have a lot of upcoming programs. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel to get notifications whenever we post a video on YouTube. And so whenever we post a new series of new 30-day series, you will get an update. Okay. So sometimes the email may land up in spam. So please do subscribe to the channel to get notifications. About me, my name is Jeevarajan. If you want to connect with me, I'm happy to connect. Please do connect me on LinkedIn. I have provided my LinkedIn link in the description. Please do connect on LinkedIn for any help or any kind of questions you have. Okay. Coming to the announcement, the attendance link will be available at the end of the session. So minimum attendance required to get a free e-certificate is 25 days. Okay. So attendance link will be closed at the end of the event. And for internship candidates, no need to fill the attendance form. All you have to do is, after watching the video on the portal, just give complete and continue on the top. So that will mark the attendance. Okay. So some sessions will be the recorded sessions. So this session is the recorded video streaming. And for lab classes, to improve the learning experience, or sometimes if you're not able to present it on live, I'll be using the recorded video for streaming. So PPT will be shared on Facebook group as well as on the Telegram group as well as through email. So you could receive the PPT as a PDF format. Source codes are available to download only for the internship candidates. Okay. So let's start the day with a mindset lesson. So today mindset lesson is about your thoughts. Okay, your thoughts are so powerful. You become what you think all day long. Okay, so you have to audit your thoughts, which is absolutely necessary. So if you're dwell with negative things, then definitely you are going to get only negative results. Okay, so if you think in negative terms, you get negative results. If you think in positive terms, you get positive results. So please do an audit what kind of thought you have. Okay, so you have to control that. So because you are the product of your own thoughts. So the thoughts are such powerful, and life is a mirror. What you see is what you are. Okay, if you see a lot of negative on the world, it means there is something negative which is inside you. Okay, so if you see the world is positive, then you are positive. Okay, so what you see is what you are. Okay, so this is the lesson which I like to share you today. Let's go for the session. Before that, you just type RTL in the chat box. If you're ready to learn, just type RTL in the chat box. And the winners of the pen drive had chosen randomly. Pratik, he used to attend a lot of sessions previously, and Sagar was chosen randomly. Okay, so there is nothing like there is no intentional, like just to Pratik for consistency and Sagar for random. I just choose random. Okay, so like I would like to thank everyone, those who have submitted the assignments, the wall of fame. Okay, Divya, thank you. Shubhas, thank you. Sagar, thank you. Bagi, thank you. Neeraj, thank you. Vivek Sharma, thank you. Chandana and Vinayaka, thank you. Nilesh, thank you. Salman Ahmad, thank you. Abhi Kumar, Alpana, thank you. And Srinivas Reddy, thank you. Kalyan, thank you. Harshit, thank you. Mohammad Yasin, thank you. Kongu Dinesh, thank you. Saurav Ahmad, thank you. Kumar, thank you. Ritvik, thank you. Ahmad and Anshuman, Mohammad, Yokesh, Yogeshwar, Mainak, Sanjay Krishna, Daniel, Gaurav, Shreya Raj, Bhuvanesh, Arpita, Sandeep Raj, Jyoti, Anand, Tony, Pradeep, Sunil, and Ritvik. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your submissions. You are the action takers. So, uh, so, so you are the action takers, and in order to get success, you have to take actions. Okay. So, I thank you all for submitting these assignments. Please don't worry, like if you cannot receive the pen drive, we have a lot of pen drives to give. Like the next pen drive task will be on tomorrow, okay, on functions. So towards that all of the days you will be receiving gifts for submitting the assignments. So you'll be learning things as well as you also receive gifts for your contribution. Okay, so please do your assignments for the next time and submit it. Maybe you may be chosen for the pen drive. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you once again. Thank you so much for submitting the assignments. Let's go for the session. Okay, so the hardware used in this course is STM32F4011 Nucleo board. You could also use any other boards, or I'll also use the same thing for 8051. Okay, so you could purchase this board if you want. Else, you could there are also other low-cost boards like 8015 boards. You could available it's available cheap. You could also use other compilers. Okay, so the concept is same. So this is the key features of the board. Like it has the STM32 microcontroller with QFP64 package, and it is compatible with Arduino Uno, and it has an onboard debugger, okay, a ST-Link debugger. So where you could debug the program, you could keep breakpoints and you could analyze memory and everything. Okay. Like it has 3 LEDs, one for USB communication, for user LED and power LED, 2 push buttons for reset. One is for reset and another is for user testing. Okay, and it has like USB mass storage as well as for the same is used for the debug port. Okay, so it can support this board can it can support IAR IDE as well as ARM Tail and GCC based IDEs. Okay. So let's go for the program. Okay, I open the online GDB first. I'll close this one. Okay, I just open Chrome. Okay. Okay, so we are going to find the address of a variable. Okay, so I just delete this program and I just create hash include dot h. Okay, so I just declare a variable. So int main, open parenthesis and curly braces. Okay, so I just I use printf the address. Okay, the address of A is, you have to use the ampersand symbol, and the format specifier is P. Okay, percentage P, comma this, you put this ampersand of A. Okay, ampersand of A. This line has to be terminated by a semicolon. Okay, semicolon, and return 0. Okay, so I'll choose this language C, and I'll go for large. Okay, run the program. So this is the address of A. Okay. So this is the address of A. So if I want to move this address to a variable, okay, if I want to, you have to use typecasting. Okay. So if I want to move this variable to an address, you have to use typecasting. So I declare a variable unsigned int, unsigned int, unsigned long int. I'll just type long int. Okay. And address of A, address of A equals A. Okay, I just declare the variable. I copy this printf, put backslash of n, escape sequence for printing next line, and printf address of A is okay. So unsigned long int. So I just put LD here and I compile this program. So we got a warning here like long unsigned int for it makes an actually it's a pointer variable. So we are trying to move this variable to this address. Okay. Check this calculator. Open calculator. I choose decimal. Copy. Okay. So this is the address. This is the hex value of this decimal value, and this is the address of A. But we have got a warning here. Okay. If you want to get rid of this warning, then you have to use the typecasting. Unsigned long int. Okay. Long int of Vishnu. Okay, so there is no warning now. So this is called typecasting. Okay, typecasting. So let us try the same program on STM32 cube ID. So I just create a folder called embedded. Okay. Inside this folder, I'm going to create two folders. One is for host. Okay. The other is for target. Okay. So first I will create a program for host and I'll show you how to compile the program, and then we will try this program. We'll try the same program there. Okay. I just open STM32 cube IDE. The first thing, you have to give the workspace. Okay, the workspace can have a single project or multiple projects. So I just copy this. I just copy the path to the workspace and paste this path. Launch. Okay. So STM32 cube IDE will store all the projects on this workspace. Okay. So this is the IDE. So this is the information center. You could close this information center. Okay. So this is the project explorer. So we will go much more detail on Sunday class about the STM32 cube IDE. Today I will show you how to create a project, simple project, and how to run this project for the host machine as well as for the target machine. Okay. So this is the project explorer. I just go for file, new. Okay. You have option to create C++ project, STM. This is for the host and this is for the target. Okay. First I will create the project for the host, C++ project. Okay. Choose C manage build, click next. you have the option to choose an empty project. Choose an empty project. You have the tool chains. Choose MinGW GCC. Okay, choose this one. This is for the host machine. Okay, if you choose MCU ARMS GCC, then that is for the target, embedded target, and give a name for this. Example one. Okay, example one. Choose this one. Click next. Choose debug and release option. Click finish. Okay, by default it will be selected. Click finish. So you got the project explorer window here. You expand this and you choose on the top, right click new. You create a file, source file. Okay, give the name for this file, main.c. Okay, so this is the file which is created here. Okay, so save you. So I'm going to copy the same code from here and paste this code here. Save the project, choose the project, right click, build project. So if you check now, like the compiler is showing warning again. Okay, on the online compiler, it didn't show any warning on the online compiler for this, but it is showing warning again. Okay. So if I check this warning, like the warning is cast from pointer to integer of different size. Okay, different size. It means this pointer variable, this pointer data type, and this data type long int or of unsigned long int of different size. Okay, so you have to declare slightly bigger than this long int. Okay. So and right click build project. Okay, so build is now completed. Again we have a warning on the printf statement. Okay, so we have the warning on the printf statement. So this is long and save this project and right click and build the project. Okay, now the warning has gone now, so it has executed, the file has been executed, like, and you have the debug example1.exe file. Okay. So right click, you just run as local C++ application, so you get the output here. Okay, the address of VA is this, and if you check this, you choose decimal and copy. Okay, so this is the hex value 7ff6c5a00810. I repeat the code here. So we have hash include. We have declared a variable here, int of a equal to 5. So you could use this format specifier %p for directly printing the address. Okay, and ampersand, you have to include ampersand a for you put ampersand before the variable name, you get the address. Okay, get the address, you could directly print up. If you want to store that on a variable, if you want to store the address on another variable, then you have to typecast. This is a pointer variable. We will be covering up pointers more than on the pointer class. So this pointer data type has to be typecast and it has to store on the other variable. So if you use unsigned long int, like it should be long int, the online compiler will not show sometimes it will not show some warnings, but it is LLD. Okay, so you have to typecast this this data type. Okay. You open the braces and you just copy and paste this one. Okay. Just typecast and run the code. Okay, so this is to read the variable. So we have created the project on the host machine. Like if you just go for the folder, embedded folder, like we have two folders. One is for host and other is for the target. Okay, so the host contains example one project. You can have you could have multiple projects on the workspace. So this is the workspace, host workspace and target workspace. Okay. So we have created when you open the IDE to ask for the workspace, we have chosen the host workspace, and then we have created the project and we have compiled the project. The output will be stored in the debug folder. Okay. Output is stored in debug folder. I will explain about the details like about how to build targets, each and everything on the IDE on Sunday class. So as of now, you just learn how to build a simple project on STM32 Cube IDE. In order to function, you have to install STM32 Cube IDE as well as MinGW and MSys2. Only if you have installed the compiler, then you can choose the compiler during the project creation. Okay. So now let us create the target now. So I switch workspace and browse. I choose the target folder. Okay. Target folder. I click launch. Now I'm going to create a project for target. The same project for target. Okay, so you go for file, new, STM32 project. Click STM32 project. So it will download. So let it download. Okay, once you create the STM32 project, close the information center. Okay, so it is initializing the STM32 target selector. So now you have option to choose microcontroller selector or the board selector or the example selector. Okay, so I'll go with the board selector. You could type Nucleo here to get the list of boards on Nucleo. Okay. So this is F411RE. So if you choose, like you have option to choose the board. This is the board. Okay. So you could download the data sheets, you could download the documents and resources, okay, features and everything here. Everything here. I choose this board here and click next. And example one. I'm giving the project name as example one. The targeted project type, as of now, you just choose empty. Okay. As of now, you just choose empty and click finish. So we have created a source here, like the source file. A default source code is there. I just go for right click, go for build project. Okay, so this will build the project, and the build has been completed now. Okay, build has been completed. Text, data, BSS, and DEC and hex file is there, and it has warning like FPU is not initialized, but the project is compiling for an FPU. Okay, to overcome this, you just go for right click, go for properties, choose C++ build settings, you go for MCU settings, choose the floating point as none. okay, and choose this as software implementation as soft. Click apply, click yes, okay, click apply and close, and rebuild the project again. Okay, so now the warning has gone. Okay, so we have created the project for host, and we have created the project for the target. Okay, so this is the project for the host. Host means the personal computers. It is going to use this GCC compiler. Project is here. The output will be stored in the debug folder. Okay, and project for the target. The output will be stored in the debug folder as a ELF format, executable linker file format. The previous case was exe file. Okay, here it is stored as ELF format. I will explain you what is ELF, what is list, what is dot map, what is makefile, the upcoming sessions, what is startup, everything on the upcoming sessions. Okay, and so as of now, we have created project for the host and project for the target, and we have covered up how to find the address of a variable. So these are the things which we have covered up now. Okay. The next we are going to cover up the storage classes. So the storage classes, like it decides the scope of a variable, the visibility of a variable, and the lifetime of a variable. Okay, so these are the features of a variable: the scope, the global scope, and the local scope, and the visibility and the lifetime of the variable. Okay, so these are the features of the variable. These features can be modified by using these storage classifiers. Okay, so let's check for this. Basically, it has two storage classifiers in C. One is the static and other is the extern. Okay, let's go one by one. So now we are going to write a program. Like we want a global variable that is private to a function. Okay, so so we want a private variable that does not lose its existence even if the execution control goes out of the scope of the variable. Okay, let's go for the program. You will understand. Okay, so I just open the onlinegdb.com. Okay, so I'm going to write a simple function. So we'll be covering up the functions in much more detail in tomorrow sessions. So void so function, I'm just declaring a function. Okay, and just initializing a local variable called count equals 0. So count, I'm just incrementing the variable count plus 1. Okay, so printf the count is and \n for the new line, comma this count. Okay, so terminate this line semicolon. So I'm going to call this function here. Okay, every statement has to be terminated by this semicolon. Okay, I have called this 3 times. Okay, I have called this function 3 times. Run the program. So if you check this output, it has it has just displayed as 1. Okay, it didn't count because when it comes to this function, okay, when the compiler executes this main function first, it called the first function. Once this my function is executed, it comes inside this program and it initializes the variable to 0 and it counts and it returns. Okay, and it print the count as 1. When it calls a function again, it reinitializes the variable count equal to 0. So this count is reinitialized and it is so this scope is local variable. It is a local variable and this variable will exist only inside this function. Okay, it will not return this function here, return the variable here. So in order to return this, if you want to use, one way is you could declare it as a global variable and run the program. you could check this output at, I just run this program. So now it has changed. This count is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the count is 1, 2, and 3. But it is a global variable. So any function can modify this count variable. So the purpose of this storage class classifier is specifier is like you can uh, you can use this variable only for this function. Okay, private for this function only for this function. So that in order to do that, you just copy this one and you have to include the word static. Okay, int and run, hit the run button. So if you check, you got the count is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this is the storage class specifier. So this function is act this is for this is a private variable only for this function. Okay, at the same time, even if the function returns and come back again, it still has the value which is which could increment the value, and it could display the value. Okay, so the next is like if you have multiple C files. Okay, the next uh, okay, so the next is the extern, how to use the extern storage class specifier. Okay, if your project may have a single file or multiple files. Okay, you could use static storage classifier for the across. You could use it for the functions which is mentioned in the other files. Okay, so let's go for by using the keyword called extern. Let's go for the program. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file. Okay, file.c. This is the other file. Okay, if we have main.c and we have file.c, and I'm going to create one more function. Okay, so let me right, and just type a private data here. Okay, so I'm declaring this private data. Okay, private data equals 50. It's a global variable. It equals 50 and printf. Okay, private data. So I am going to write a function on the next file, like void file underscore my function. So I am changing the value here. Private data equals 100. Okay, so now I call this function here. I call this function and I'm checking for the value. It should print 100 because in this function the data has been modified. It is also a local, it's also a global variable. So hit the run button. Okay, so it tells that file my function is not declared. Okay, Okay, so now the private data is not declared. It is not declared. It's undeclared. This private data is undeclared to use in this function. Okay, so here, so the data is already defined here in private data. So it just declare here the same thing. Okay, you have to use, since it is used in external file, you have to use this extern int of private data. Okay, save this file. Sorry, run this program. Okay, so if you check now, like it has printed private data is 50 and it has updated as private data is 100. Okay, so I'm going to copy the same thing on the STM32 project. So I just open STM32 cube. I'm going to create a project for the host. So I just choose this host, click launch. It's host. Okay, click launch. So I'm going to store this on this folder, on host folder. Okay, so go for file, go for new, create C++ project, manage build, click next. And this is example 2. Okay, choose MinGWC GCC. Okay, click next, click finish. So here I'm going to create a new source file. I'm going to create a new source file. Main.c. Click finish. So I'm going to copy the file from there, save this file, and new again C source file, file.c. Okay, save this file, choose this project, right click, build project. Okay, the project is compiled successfully, and right click, go for debug run as local C++ application. So the private data is 50 and private data is 100. Okay, so I just explained the code here. Like we have included data here, declare a global data, global variable, and this global variable is initialized here, and printf, it displays 50 here. Okay, we are calling a function from another file, and from this file we have updated the data. Okay, we have updated the data from this file, and we have returned this data here. Okay, we have called this function and we have printf. So the data is printed here. Okay, okay, so this is using extern for a variable. Okay, so extern for a variable. Now we will see an example for extern for a functions, how to create extern for a function. So I just click new project, example 3. Example 3. Okay, back, choose this one, MinGW GCC. Okay, you should not choose ARM or cross GCC. You have to choose because we are compiling the program for the host. Click next, debug and release, click finish. Okay, So I just create a new source file, main.c. Okay, so I'm going to create a function for extern with functions. Previously we have used extern with variable. Now we are going to create extern with functions. So new source file called file.c. Okay, file.c. So I just click main.c and hash. We check for the preferences to increase the size. Okay. Okay. Hash include stdio.h. Okay. So I'll create this for program on onlinegdb.com. I reset the program. Okay. So I just create a file called void. I just create a function, change system clock. Okay, change system clock. So I'm passing a variable called sysclock. Okay, I'm just printing this value here. Okay, so now I'm going to call this function. Just declare this function here. Okay, so I'm going to create one more function, function on other file, file.c. So I'm using the function from here. Here I'm updating this to 2. Okay. You have to use the extern, or the function itself will take extern here. Okay. So change system clock. Just call this function. Okay. So let us run the program now. It should. Okay. 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 So system clock is changed to 2. Okay. So it calls this function, and the function is executed here, like it passes the system clock of 2. Okay, the 2 is passed here. So if we process, okay, I hit the run button. So you could see the system clock is changed to 3 and system clock is changed to 2. Okay, so this is how you use extern for the functions. So to recap, so I'm going to use the same thing for the IDE here, main.c, and I'm going to choose the file.c, copy this one. Okay, this is using extern. I click build project, and I click go for run as local C++ application. Okay, so you could see the system clock is changed it is 3, and then like if you go for the main program, first it prints 3, and then in this function which is used on the other file, it is changed. Okay, the system clock is changed. So right, so to recap, we have created a project for host using STM32Cube, and we have created a project for target using STM32Cube, how to read the address of a variable, and how to use storage classes in C, the static and extern. Okay, in extern for variables and extern for the functions. So using extern with functions like static. Okay, we have not covered up the static with functions. Let's cover up the static with functions also. So you change this to static. So you cannot use this function on other file. Okay, the change system clock. The change system clock is used on file.c. Is used when you use static, it becomes private, which is private only for this main file. Okay, it cannot be used on file.c. If I try to compile this program, I click and build project, it will show error. Okay, it shows 2 errors because when I use static, it cannot be used. It cannot be used on this this clock. This change system clock cannot be used on this function. Okay, if I comment this line, okay, and if I save the program and right click and rebuild the project again, so the output is executed. And I check for the output, run as local C++ application, it's changed to 3. Okay, so the use of static is for private. The function becomes private only for that file main.c. It cannot be used on file.c. Okay, so that's the advantage of using static. You could make it as a private function. The same thing for the variable also. Okay, so we have I'll give a short recap of what we have covered in today's class. Like we have gone through the address of a variable, how to print the address of a variable, and how to store the address of a variable to another variable by using typecasting. Okay, and then we have covered up the storage classes in C, how to change the scope of a variable, okay, how to make it as private, the static, how to use static variable. Okay, and we have covered up how to use extern, okay, how to use, which is used on the other files, for extern for the variables and extern for the functions. Okay, and then we have used static for the functions. So you please practice this, and let's complete the function tomorrow. Okay, before we close, there's a combo offer for 3 courses for embedded C programming and embedded system design and Internet of Things masterclass. If you would like to avail this offer, it's 999 rupees. And we also have where we covered up 8051 architecture, PIC architecture, ARM7 LPC 2148 architecture, and LPC 4088 architecture, and Node MCU, and 5 plus projects. Okay, 5 plus projects. And IoT masterclass, we covered up Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, and ThinkSpeak. And this 3 is for 999. So PCB design is not available now. And we have the job assistance fund bundle for 7,999. Like, we have 20 plus courses on this. AI masterclass, data analytics, machine learning, deep learning, Python, computer vision, R programming, embedded system design, IoT, FPGA masterclass, PCB design, Arduino masterclass, and MATLAB masterclass, and Raspberry Pi masterclass. Apart from this, we also have soft skill like LinkedIn mastery, interview skills, resume building, and time management. Okay, so all this is available for 7,999. Okay, so 20 plus courses with job assistance, 300 plus projects are there. Okay, so you could add to your resume, and you could make use of this opportunity. So if you have any Q&A, please post it on the Facebook group. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming. Please do share your feedbacks on the Facebook group. I'll go through the Facebook group at least once a day. And let's tomorrow class we will have a pen drive task. So you could submit the assignments for the tomorrow class. Today there is no assignments, so tomorrow class we'll have a pen drive assignments, so you could submit. So thank you so much for your time. See you on the next class tomorrow. Until then, bye bye, take care.